So before we talk all things Cheetah, we want to give you guys a second to take in the fact that you are now sharing your own Littlefoot. And if you listen very closely, sometimes you can hear his purr. So for anyone that has a house kitty, that's the same exact thing. That just means that Littlefoot is content, comfortable, and just excited to be with you guys this morning. And so throughout our time with us this morning, I will tell you guys all about our cheetah, but if anyone has any questions, if anyone wants to start with any questions, if not, we can totally just go into me talking a little bit about them. But if there's anything you guys want to know right off the bat, I'll be more than happy to answer those first.
I was wondering what that random noises you're hearing. There's a fennec fox in the room next door, so he's just doing his happy paw.
So Littlefoot is one of our two African cheetah. We have Littlefoot and his brother Triton. They are both 4 years old. And actually, before I go into a little bit about them, we'll go into introductions really quick. So Littlefoot's obviously the cheetah. With Littlefoot this morning, we have Jason as well as Kira. Across from me, we have Finn, one of Littlefoot's best friends, who is doing his job very nicely this morning. And with Finn, we have Ty. And so one of the first things that you guys probably notice about Littlefoot is that he has a harness as well as a collar. We are an AZA accredited institution or facility, and so AZA is the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and they do make different rules and regulations as far as programs, encounters, and just in general. So he does have those for his safety, for your safety, for the safety of us as well. That's something that we're required to do. We have programs. And so, in addition to Finn, we also have his brother, Norton, who is a black lab. And the very cool thing about having two cheetah and two dogs is that they are all able to be together all the time. There are, for whatever reason, if Littlefoot wanted to leave the room today for whatever reason, didn't feel like participating anymore, that's totally fine. We would see if his brother Triton wanted to participate today. If they didn't, we'd apologize, show you guys something else. Voluntary. But the cool thing is that if Littlefoot wanted to go back, Finn would still be able to stay in the room and do his job. So he gets a variety of different things. So he gets a zoo-based diet, it's a carnivore diet, and it's premium because we only give them the best of the best. And they also get shank cut off the bone. And Littlefoot is a huge fan of chicken. His brother, not so much, could care less. But Littlefoot really enjoys it. So he's getting all 3 of those this morning.
Is there somewhere in the zoo that they can run?
Yes, so our exercise yard. We always say that we kind of apologize. You guys probably had a little bit of a walk today, and that's because we have a very large exercise yard. That's even bigger than the length of the building, so that these guys can fully open up, and that's something that's really important to them. And we always say that we give them the opportunity to run. Littlefoot is definitely our runner. Triton really likes to run outside and find a puddle or a sunny spot, and he is a professional plopper and will plop down and sun himself all day. Littlefoot definitely does open it up if they have the space to do so. The only reason Cheetah will hit top speeds though is if they're trying to get food. Ours are hand fed if they choose to do so. They participate in training sessions as well. They can have food whenever they want. So there's not many opportunities where they need to fully open up and hit those top speeds, but they do have the space to do so if they choose to.
What kind of toys do they like to play with?
So we have a variety of different kinds of nourishment and different things that we can give them. So we'll give them different scents. We'll give them sometimes hay from other animals so they can get that scent as well. We have a lure system. Out of all of the expensive toys that we buy to these guys and all of the crazy ideas that we come up with to give them something new every day, their favorite thing happens to be a really hard orange ball. It's about this big, and we'll throw them out to the yard, and then they bat them around like a house cat would, and they have a lot of fun with that. So it's funny. It's almost like a little kid. You buy them everything, and then they end up playing with the spoons that you give them. the simple things they tend to like, which is really funny.
Do they like being pet like house cats do?
So they definitely have really, really close bonds with the people that work with them every day. Kira and Jason have actually been with Littlefoot since he was just 10 days old. So, exactly. So they're essentially litter mates, and they do seek out attention and comfort from the people that take care of them. Would I say it's the same as a house cat? No. It is a wild animal, and we respect that, and we know that there are sometimes where they definitely don't want to be pet or get attention from us, and that's totally fine. So in a way, yes, but not the same.
What's the snack he's being fed constantly?
So he gets chicken as well as shank cut off the bone, and he also gets a carnivore diet.
Okay, but what is his hands feeding him right now?
All three of those things.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, great thing when we feed our cats, we'll feed them 4 times a day. And we'll generally turn at least 2 of those feedings into a training session. If these guys decide they feel we want to train for the day, we can definitely relate. There are days that we don't want to go to work. We don't withhold food for training here, so if they didn't want to train, that's totally fine. They would still get their diet for the day.
He has like a hair and
That's what I'm expecting.
We're feeding the chaps.
No female shooters in there?
I'm sorry?
Have any female shooters around?
No, we do not. So the 2 boys are
Just the
the
2
only ones
brothers?
that we have, yes.
Yeah, no chance for blowing a herd.
So with these guys were deemed to be ambassador animals like they're doing right now. So there wasn't going to be a call for Littlefoot to try to breed during their lifetime. One of the problems that cheetahs face, the fact that they lost so much of their numbers over the last 100 years, is that there is a really big problem with genetic bottlenecking and inbreeding. And so with these guys, as with most of the animals here at the Bronx Zoo, we have to really follow something called an SSP, or Species Survival Plan. And I always dilute it down. I call it a big dating service. So what will happen is the people who are in charge of the stud books for the African cheetah will get together and they'll say, oh, we would really like to pair these genes from this male with these genes from this female. And that way they can really keep an eye and keep the genetics pure. Their genetics were already well represented, so there wasn't going to be a call for these guys to breed. So no hanky-panky for them.
Do the dogs live here with the cheetahs, or do they live with a person?
I wish they lived with me. I'm a big fan of the dogs. So they're actually with their cheetah brothers all the time.
So they're two animals?
Yes. Yeah, so they're comfort and companion dogs. So you probably noticed that I walked in first with Finn this morning, and it's been found out by a lot of different research that the cheetah will seek out comfort as well as confidence from the dogs. So they are together all the time. The only time we'll separate them is for feeding time as well as for sleeping time as well. And that's only because the dogs really like to play, and if given the opportunity, they'll play all night and keep the cheetah awake. And the cheetahs just really like to sleep sometimes. And then for feeding time, it's just because the English labs are literal vacuum cleaners, so just so everybody gets their diet, we'll do that. But they're together all the time. If they needed them overnight for whatever reason, the really cool thing about our building is that they can still see, hear, and pretty much touch each other through the enclosures that they're in. So if they did need them overnight for whatever reason.
And it also gives us the opportunity to give them their nice cushy beds and their toys that the cheetah would just destroy if we put them in with them as well. So they get a little spoiled at night.
I noticed the whiskers are not much longer than a domestic cat. Would they be longer in the wild or
No, so with these guys, that's going to be their standard length of whiskers for these guys. There is not too much with these guys as far as needing spatial awareness to know how much room they have on either side, because these guys are diurnal. A lot of times animals that you'll see with really long whiskers are nocturnal, and it kind of helps them know what's on either side of them at night.
I never noticed that
the tail is like the lemur's tail.
So their tails do identify them as individuals. So their tails do look a little bit different, but it does have that pattern, yeah.
All the time, really?
Well, some of them do look different, but they do have quite a different pattern compared to their spots. Not to say that they all look completely the same, but one of the ways that you can identify cheetah is actually by their spot patterns. They have their spots all the way down to their skin as well. So when we do annual workups with the vets for these guys, we have to shave a spot, even if, not like we would, but if you were to shave a cheetah completely, it would still, you'd still see all the spots, which is really cool to go all the way down.
Yeah, their tail is really cool because it acts like a rudder for when they're running. So it's really important that we make sure that their tail health is tip top. Because when they're outside using it, you can actually see them using it to help them turn.
That's actually a really good question, and I'll kind of use that as a segue to go into the training that we do with the cats here. Essentially, you guys being here at this encounter are participating in a training session. You notice that Jason's not asking him to perform tricks, but more so asking him for behaviors. And hearing Jason do a lot of different behaviors with these guys. Caroline is starting to train with them as well. And so I'll let Kira go more into the training things with the cats here.
So being that cheetah are very wary individuals, we want to be very cautious about how we train certain behaviors with them, just make their lives really as stress-free as we can while they're here, especially for veterinary exams. So this behavior is great if we want to get our hands on the cat, as far as we're concerned that there's something going on in their stomach, we can actually put an ultrasound probe. Sorry. I was involved in eating, I didn't realize you were touching me. We can actually put an ultrasound probe right on their belly and see what's going on in there. Like Caroline had mentioned, we can do blood draws for either their inner thigh or the base of their tail. And then as we talked about before, just keeping up with their tail, making sure that everything's working properly. Cheetah are like a natural born athlete. You'll see that they have those mallard stripes on their face that really help them with sun glare so they can actually see really far away. But they also have their nails always out. They don't retract like a house cat does. So while he's out in the yard, he wears his nails down a lot. But being that Triton doesn't exactly run a lot, we have to trim his nails. And if anybody has a house cat at home, trimming nails is horrible. It's even worse with the cheetah. So what we've done is we've trained them to stand on their back feet and put their nails forward so that we can actually trim Triton's nails for him. Littlefoot also knows that behavior, and it's mainly because we want to get a good look at the pads of his feet, make sure he doesn't have any tears or punctures for when he's outside in the yard. They get annual vaccines like your cats and dogs do at home. So we ask them to put their hip on the side of their enclosure and they get a quick stick in the butt. And it's such a well-trained behavior that these guys don't even realize they're getting their shots anymore. So it's pretty impressive, and it's a really strong bond that we need to have with the cats. You know, we need to trust that when we're in with these guys, they're not going to do anything against us, and that they need to trust that we're never going to bring them into an area that's not going to be safe for them. So just bringing them into this classroom, as Tom mentioned before, is a training session, and you guys having different smells to you, different accessories on you, boots, hats, wheelchairs, everything is always something new for them, so it's constantly a training session with them in here.
Are there spots like the fingerprints or not?
Yes, so they're all identical to that one cheetah.
What is it about cheetah that they can participate in something like this compared to other big cats?
They're very dog-like. They're the most dog-like big cat, which is why they work really well in this setting. In this building, the year after we raised the cheetah cubs, we had to raise 2 Malayan tigers. And Mom rejected them, didn't want to have anything to do with them. So we took them here, and we raised them the same exact way as we did the cheetahs, but knowing that they were going to go back onto exhibit at our Tiger Mountain enclosure. And at about 3.5 months, they started to turn into true tigers. You'd come into the room and they would stalk you, they'd jump up at you, and it would still be playful, but you can tell right away that that instinct is not going to be the same as what a cheetah's instinct is. But unfortunately, the cheetah being such a dog-like cat is causing them a lot of problems in the wild with the pet trade. So I'll let Caroline go into that a little bit more.
Yeah, so like we had mentioned, they're just very weird animals, so it's definitely easy, unfortunately, to smuggle these guys into the black market. And so just in general, just to give you guys a quick idea of how this species is doing, no matter where they are in the world, they definitely need our help for various reasons besides the black market as well. So for African cheetah, there are less than 7,000 individuals. 7,000, that's not a lot. And for the Asiatic cheetah, they're down to 49 individuals. They'll definitely be extinct in our lifetime. And so unfortunately, for every photo of a cheetah that you've seen on top of a luxurious car, because that's what it's come to for these guys, because they're viewed as a status symbol in some areas of the world because of how they can actually be, calm in a setting like this. So for every photo that you've seen in that, odds are there's around 4 siblings that the cheetah had that didn't make it. And less than 5% of animals will survive through the black market because of the conditions that they live in. So there are a couple of amazing people that are doing work to save the species. African cheetah definitely have a hero. Her name is Dr. Lori Marker. If you want to know more about her after we're done talking about her a little bit, you can visit cheetah.org. It's an amazing website, an amazing organization to just be aware about. And what she actually found out was that in Africa, farmers were trapping and killing cheetah for what they believed were killing their livestock. So, like we mentioned before, these guys come during the day. So just by process of elimination, farmers would come out, see some of their livestock missing, and there would be a cheetah near there because they're constantly being pushed off of areas and getting closer to humans because of their weird nature. And so what she ended up doing was training shepherd dogs to essentially pretty much be bodyguards for the livestock. A large dog is enough to keep away a wary animal. And so by doing this, she's been able to raise awareness of the farmers that it wasn't actually them, and she's gotten them to appreciate the species a little more as well. And so she's been able to rescue hundreds from that situation. She also has a really amazing facility where she's able to rescue those cats off of the black market. At different times of the year, she's had up to 40 cheetah where she's able to rescue them and nurse them back to health. She was also one of the first people that actually backed up the fact that you can train a cheetah to hunt after nursing it back to health, depending on the age as well as the certain conditions and circumstances of each animal.
It's actually funny, as Caroline mentioned, that she trained the shepherd dogs to keep wild cheetah at bay. She was actually the one 30 years ago to pioneer the idea of having cheetahs and dogs be companions. In the 80s, she was a keeper at the Oregon Zoo, and she had a single cheetah cub in her care. And when a cheetah is by himself, that can prove to be stressful because they can have litters as big as 4 to 6 and sometimes 8. And so what she actually did was she brought her pup from home to be a companion for that cheetah, and she actually took those 2 individuals with her to Namibia when she started the CCF. So it's kind of cool that she pioneered this idea of them being friends, and then in the wild, she would actually have those dogs save the cheetah just by keeping them away from the farmer's livestock.
Are there any last questions for the keepers?
Have any of the zoo workers ever found themselves to be allergic to cheetahs?
Oh, yes.
If you're allergic to cats, are you allergic to cheetahs? Yes. And you're allergic to pretty much any. So we've worked with cheetah, tigers, and clouded leopards. And every time we've gotten a new cat, it's been a new allergy breakout. So it's interesting.
Me too. They're real awesome.
Yeah.
You get used to it. Like you build up an immunity, like I do to like house cats too. Eventually, like you're still allergic to them, but you can just be around them.
How do cheetahs show affection?
So a couple of different ways. Purring is one of them, for sure. As you guys probably saw, Littlefoot definitely, as well as Triton, definitely grooms the people that take care of them. And for anybody that has a cat knows their tongue is like sandpaper. So grooming is definitely one of them. Particular noises that they make at each other as well. They have a couple of different ways to show it.
Be very vain.
Once we had the TV show, they changed completely and they're now giant divas. So this is a perfect example too of how everything is voluntary. Littlefoot chooses to take his sweet time leaving the classroom. That's totally fine. That just leaves me to talk more about them. No problem. Everything is completely on their terms. We have some animals too where like if they, like, we'll bring an African president working times who don't have the best vision, and sometimes they can't find the door that easily, or they want to stay, and it's just kind of us leading back to explaining why everything is actually voluntary, which is best for them and best for us too. You know, if the animal's not having a good time, you guys aren't going to have a good time, so.
We also have 2 3-year-old parrots in our kitchen right now, currently screaming their heads off and done with whatever enrichment they got for the day, so that also maybe throwing them off a little bit.
Yeah, we actually have 16 rescued parrots that call our building home now, that have been just dropped off in different areas of the park once people realized that they could no longer take care of them because they live a very long time. They're difficult to take care of.
Way to go.
To make an exit.
I've probably noticed Finn's change in behavior. He is no longer working once Littlefoot leaves the room. You guys probably noticed that Ty did not reward Finn the entire time. Littlefoot was getting rewarded, so for being such a good boy, he gets to meet all of you now. So we encourage anybody to come down and give Finn love when Ty brings him over. We just say be a little bit careful of his ears because they're definitely sensitive.
You guys come down if you want.
If anyone has any further questions, you didn't ask, feel free to.
You guys can come down.
You're so soft. Yes, you're so soft.